There's a drug out on the market right now that's unlike anything other. It's called Epidiolex, and it's meant to help treat epilepsy.
But it's what's inside the drug that's groundbreaking. The medication is the first prescription drug approved by the FDA that is cannabis-derived. It contains a compound called CBD. While it comes from marijuana, it won't get you high. An NYU study looked at the compound's success rate in 225 patients with Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. 40% of people receiving high levels of CBD saw their seizures reduced by half or more, but that wasn't without side effects. Some users reported sleepiness, respiratory infections, and vomiting. And as always here on TDA, we just needed to know more.
Yes, so I talked to Consumer Reports deputy editor Lisa Gill to find out about the compound, its regulation, and the science behind it.
What is CBD? Just give us that basic info first, and is it legal?
Well, sure. So CBD is one of hundreds of compounds that are found in a marijuana plant, right? There's like hundreds of cannabinoids. And CBD stands for cannabidiol. And it is one of the active ingredients, but it doesn't actually cause you to, like, that sensation of being high.
Yes.
That's what THC does. So CBD is this, like, it's sort of like this miracle compound. And, you know, your question is it legal? Well, yes and no. It just kind of depends on where it comes from. If it is derived from the hemp plant, right? So hemp is actually a type of cannabis. It can be legal in certain states. But if it's derived from the marijuana plant, the Drug Enforcement Agency says no go, and that is technically illegal. But there are a ton of states where they've sort of overridden the federal government, and they're going to allow it to be legal. Everything from, you know, Colorado, California, Washington, Oregon, those are recreationally legal states where marijuana and all of its derivatives are legal. But there's other states, like my home state of Indiana, where CBD oil is totally legal. And it's coming from hemp plants that the state allows growers to use.
It's like weed light, weed zero, really.
Weed light, right.
Also, I won't let it slip that you're from the Hoosier State. I love a good Midwestern girl. I love that. So what sorts of things does it treat?
Sure. So it's used really, like, at least when people just purchase it, like at a retail store or a dispensary, a lot of people are using it for pain. So all different kinds of pain, joint pain, back pain, headache pain. A lot of people also say they use it for anxiety and sometimes for insomnia treatments. The only little sort of hitch is that there's not a ton of studies to support it. So, like, there's some very basic science studies and, like, preliminary research that suggests that CBD is an anti-inflammatory. But there's not a ton of human studies. There's a few random controlled trials. They're really, really tiny, but it's promising. One really cool thing is that the FDA just approved like a pure sort of CBD pill called Epidiolex that's going to be used in people who have certain kinds of rare epilepsy. So like seizure disorders. So there's excellent evidence there. So we know that it has some pretty intense medical value. I would say it's sort of still out. We don't really know, but there will be more research.
Right. I feel like that kind of regulation is rare because it's fairly unregulated. So when something is unregulated like that, what should consumers beware of?
Well, so actually it is sort of regulated. And I'll tell you one place that it's really critical. We have been advising, along with the TSA, to not fly with CBD products.
Okay.
So it may be legal in your state, like I live in California, so it's legal here. I would not want to get on a plane with it. That's federal airspace, and federally speaking, it is still illegal, and you don't want to get tripped up at TSA. But when you're gonna purchase it, there are a lot of sellers that sell it online. So if you're in a state where you can't go just buy it, try to buy it from a state where it's recreationally legal already. So like Colorado or California, for example. And that's because they have pretty strict, at least they have some testing requirements so that you can make sure that what's in the bottle is actually what it's supposed to be.
Not an approved carry-on, Ashley.
Clearly not.
Clearly
well, I can't
not.
even take my water bottle, so.
Well, exactly.
That's a different story.
I just feel like, as it shows you, is when it comes to like medical marijuana and CBD stuff, the further we're getting along in the research, we're showing that it really does have medical benefits. And to scoff at it anymore as in like, oh, it's people just trying to get their hands on weed, I feel like that's an outdated argument.
It is, and I'll be honest, like, I've read a lot of things where this helps people, but like the whole, you asked if it's legal, and she's like, well, that part makes me nervous because I don't want to have something that treats my sickness and then I get in trouble for it. Yeah.
There's gray area. there's a gray area. Well, for more information, head on over to consumerreports.org.